Hello, my name is Teacher Tina and I teach for VIPKID. And I think I get a lot of questions about my setup of my classroom because things don't get cut off the same way in my classroom as they do on these videos. So you see a lot more of my classroom, such as my letter wall and the edge of my board. So today I'm going to be answering hopefully all of your questions about my setup, such as what's the board made of, do you stand while you teach, and how do you store all of your stuff? So let's get started. First things first, I would like to remind you that Rome was not built in a day, and neither was Tina's classroom. And you will continually be improving your classroom as well. I change things up all the time around here as I find I need to. So, for example, if I find that I never use a prop, then it probably doesn't need to be within arm's reach. I can probably just grab it that morning if in the off chance I think I'm going to need it. So I found ways to keep all of my really helpful things closer and put other things away. So remember, Rome wasn't built in a day and neither was your classroom. So without further ado, let's start by talking about lighting. Now, I am very fortunate in that I have lots of really good natural light in here that you see during my videos. Exhibit A . Yep, I'm pretty sure I get really nice light in here because any light that is coming from the sky is reflected on the massive amounts of snow that we get here in Pennsylvania. So anyway, yes, that was my car stuck at the end of the driveway, so you might get another video out of me today. Anyway, I get lots of good natural light in here, which is awesome, but it doesn't really help me during my classes very much. So I like to make sure that I have lots of good light sources coming from other places. Now, my biggest tip for you with lighting is to make sure you have lighting coming from different directions so it kind of bounces, right? You don't want all the light on one side of your face or over your head or something. So what I use, I have an overhead light, but I also have a floor lamp. This is my floor lamp. So what I really like about my floor lamp is that, first of all, I can move the heads around however I feel like I need more light, and also I can turn some of them on, all of them on. It's really flexible and awesome. I got it from Aldi way back when. Sometimes they'll have nice, lighting or storage items like that. You can get floor lamps like this pretty much anywhere though. I really recommend it. I just use LED light bulbs like this one. They work well for me. I know some people invest more in their classroom and they will use, ring lights or something fancy they found at IKEA. You do whatever works for you. If you wear glasses, be careful that, the light's not shining so much into your glasses that A, it gives you a headache, and B, your student can't see your eyes. That's something to keep in mind also. Pretty much just make sure your light's bouncing off of different directions and you should be okay. Next thing we're going to talk about is my background. So, like I said, you see more of it than my students do. They don't see the ugly sides like you do in my lovely videos, so sorry about that. But basically, all my board is an oil drip pan. That's something you get from Walmart. I got mine for $12 from Walmart. This is what it looks like, and it's super easy. I hung it with 4 command strips, these medium-sized command strips, and it has not budged. I leave it up there all the time, and it works really, really nicely. The whole thing is magnetic, which is super cool, and I found a trick for you that I have used, and I love it. First of all, let me show you. I actually bought 2 of these. I bought one and I loved it so much that I bought a second one. And the second one I don't actually have hanging because the top of it would actually show in the camera, and that's where I wanted it. So I just leave it on the ground. But let me show you why I found the need to cover it. Yes, that's how I feel about it too. So basically, it has this really ugly writing on it, which I knew when I bought it, but I just thought, oh, I'll find a way to cover it up. And if you look at my old videos, you'll see that, yeah, I did cover it up with things like these flowers And eventually I got tired of having to cover it up so explicitly. And I also got tired of the plain silver background. So I was in Dollar Tree, my favorite place, and I came across the tablecloths. And I thought, wait a second, I can use one of those on my backdrop. So that's what I did, and that's what I've been doing ever since. I just buy these really cheap plastic tablecloths, and I double them up so that you can see the color better, and I hang it up with magnets. That's pretty much it. I switch it out for different seasons, for holidays, for my mood. Keep in mind that if you choose to do that, you probably want to check that it's not too dark for in your camera. Sometimes if it's too dark, it can make your skin do weird things. I've never had that happen, but I have heard from other teachers who have used other materials that certain colors do weird things with your skin. So just be sure that you check your how you look on the camera before you have a classroom or before you have a student on the other side of your classroom. But that is my best trick for you, is that plastic tablecloth. $1, totally change the look of your classroom. Okay, so speaking of magnets, I said I hung this up with magnets. People ask how I hang these cookie sheets. Magnets. Yep, since this is magnetic, I use these little magnets. They are called neodymium magnets. Neodymium, and this is what they look like. They come in different sizes, but they are the strongest magnets you can get for their size. But that being said, I want to warn you that they are also very, very dangerous. Oh my gosh, I have never had that happen during a class. This is why you need to be sure that you secure things. I actually took off some magnets so that I could show you. Oh my gosh. Anyway, be sure everything is really secured, even if you're just making a video for YouTube. Anyway, so yes, these neodymium magnets, they are the strongest ones for their size, but they are also the most expensive and they are the most dangerous. So if you have a little one or a very curious pet, I would recommend avoiding these neodymium ones. They can be very dangerous if swallowed. They may require surgery. So just keep that in mind. Let me show you some other magnets that I like in case I just scared you. This is probably my other favorite magnet. Probably my favorite overall because the neodymium ones do kind of scare me. These ones are called magnetic buttons. They're from Walmart. You buy them in a 52 pack. They're pretty cheap, and they work really nicely if you are trying to hang thicker things. So, for example, I have these foam blocks that I got at Dollar Tree. It's just a puzzle. It came actually in 9, and I just stuck one of these magnets on the back. And I use super glue. You can use hot glue. You can even use tape. I used tape on my little animals. Same puzzle set, same idea. I used packing tape, and I found that both options work really, really nicely. I actually kind of prefer using the packing tape, but I haven't had a reason to cover these with packing tape because they haven't fallen off yet. This is just kind of easier, and packing tape doesn't mess up your fingers if you slip. So anyway. Yes, I would recommend using some super glue, hot glue, packing tape, something like that. The other and third type of magnet that I tend to use is called magnetic tape. This is what it looks like. You buy it usually in strips or rectangular shapes like that, and you just cut it to size. So like this is my little ice cream cone. I just cut this. This is actually felt, and hot glue or super glue works really, really nicely on felt. Tape will not work on felt. So, find what works for you, but keep in mind, usually the stronger the magnet, the more expensive and the more dangerous. So it's kind of a balance of what is important to you in your classroom. Enough about magnets. I am so sick of it. Okay, so magnets, done. Lighting, done. Background, done. Let's talk about whether I sit or stand. What do you think? Yep, you're right. I do stand while I teach because I am too antsy to sit for hours and hours on end. So I do stand while I teach. I love standing while I teach. I like to stay about an arm's length away from my camera. It works really nicely for me. Of course, I change my position with the camera often. with my students, right? If I'm doing pronunciation, I will get up close and personal so they can really take a look at my lips. If we are doing jumping jacks or something, I will come back here to do them. You know, I have lots of freedom in this way. If you are able and want to try out a standing desk, I highly recommend it. My top tip for a standing desk is if you want to get a little bit more elevation, but you want your computer to still be getting air underneath it, like if it's a laptop and you don't want it to get overheated, use a plate rack. So I have used this since pretty early on, and it's worked really, really well for me. Let me show you quickly. So basically, what I have here is I have a nice little platform for my computer, for my laptop. I have little cord storage in here on the sides. I have a tier that holds my whiteboard and eraser and markers, and then I have my jail for my little animals that I use all the time. I'm sorry, my zoo. They're captive audience over here. So that's what I do with my standing desk to get it a little taller because I'm pretty tall and I need it. You can find these plate racks at Walmart. Dollar Tree has them too. I know I've said Dollar Tree like 40 times. Forgive me, I just go there a lot. Basically, sometimes it will not have tiers. Sometimes it will look like this. This is great too. It's all about what you want and how much elevation you need so that you have the camera at a good level. Yeah, so that's how I do my standing desk. Another really cool thing that I recommend using is a squishy mat for your feet. They will help your knees and your hips and your feet. Everything will feel better if you just use a squishy mat. You can get these from most houseware stores, pretty much anywhere. Just be sure it's, situated that you're not going to slide if you're on like a hardwood floor or something. I would hate for you to fall. So yeah, keep that in mind. And compression socks. Get some compression socks if you're planning to stand. And I did promise you a little tour at the end here, and I'm going to show you first my backup plan. So those of you who have seen my other videos know that I like to be very prepared. I like to have a backup plan, and I do have a backup classroom. Now I know that sounds totally crazy, but it's actually the classroom I used during my interview. And I just never took it down. I don't use that room, so I just left it like that. And it works really nicely for, I use it for other things currently, but I have it there in case like I were to trip on my way to my classroom for my first class and can't stand. I'll just crawl over there and get on my ball. So let me show you that backup classroom. I know most people don't have a backup classroom, but I just want to show you another setup. And I have shown this before. That's my backup. I have a little bouncy ball I can sit on if I need to. Okay, but this isn't my real classroom, so let's leave. All right, so here is the tour of my actual classroom. Okay, now I know most people would not choose to give a whole room to VIPKID. That's a personal choice, and I'm crazy. So this is my classroom. That is my funny little layout, as my husband likes to call it, or my funny little setup, he called it yesterday. And I'm going to very briefly show you. So, of course, it's part of my standing desk. I use the edge of my standing desk, and there's my background that you can see. There's my other magnetic board. Over there, I have a really cool storage unit that I actually just got last week, and it's been serving me really, really well. I can easily grab my things. I can see what they are without having to pull out drawers, which is really important to me. Yeah, and then I have some more storage over here. I have a little mobile file cabinet with my reward systems, any that I'm not actively using. Something that I recommend for your classroom. Again, this is probably overzealous. I have a little personal care section over here. You never know when you're going to need a tissue, water, lotion, cough drops, nail file, hairpin, floss. You never know. So this is my little personal care section. Everything else in here is props, and it works really nicely for me. So, all right, that is my classroom. I hope that you have enjoyed the tour. If you have enjoyed the tour and you would like my help if you are new, feel free to email me. If you are in the hiring process and would like a referring teacher, I would love to help you. I very actively help anybody who wants my help as a referring teacher, so just follow the steps below. Otherwise, I thank you for watching. Be sure to stay tuned for my valuable props video and other videos because I'm snowed in. So have a great day. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy setting up your classroom. Goodbye.